Hello, welcome again. In this module, we are going to cover the sum function. We all know the sum is simply adding different range of numbers together. 2 plus 2, the sum is 4. 1 plus 2, the sum is 3. It's as easy as that. Summation, just summing up values, data together. That is the sum. That is sum. So sum function is a kind of argument or function that you can apply in Excel to add range of values together. So let's head over to our Excel worksheet and see how to achieve this. This is our Excel environment, and these are some of the data that we are going to work with to achieve or do some basic calculation under summation. These are sales statistic data from Easy Media. Okay, for January, February, March, and April. These are some of the products that was sold. These are the number of items that was sold for this particular month. So we are going to calculate the total of sales for these items. As you can see below here, I've programmed this as total sales. So we have the total sales for January. It will be inputted here. Total sales for February will be inputted here. Total sales for March will be inputted here, and total sales for April will also be inputted here. So we are going to see how to explore the different ways to sum values in Excel to achieve the totals from the products. So let's start with January. So to carry out our sum function, we have different ways we can do it, and I'm going to show us all the ways that we can achieve this. So the first way is by using the manual method for calculation. So by using the manual, we start by adding our equal sign, which is the first rule in Excel before you can make any calculation. So we hit our equal sign. Now we apply our function name, and the function name that we are going to apply, like we discussed in our previous model, is the sum function. So notice one thing, that once you apply the sum or you type in the sum, automatically Excel brings it out and give you a tip of what sum actually means. As you can see, what is written here is adds all the numbers in a range of cell. So the range of cell that Excel can want to add for us will be from here down to this particular place. So the next thing we do is to open up a bracket. Notice that once we open up a bracket, automatically Excel gives us another hint telling us to add the number. Like for what is written here, number 1, telling us that we should add the first range of number, which is the argument that we want to actually calculate for. The first argument we want to calculate for is B3. Here, from our column head, we have B, and from our row head, we have 3. So the cell here that it was matched together is this particular cell called B3. So what we do here is type B3, and Excel will automatically pick it up. It's now giving us another range of value telling us to add a comma. Now before you add sums of numbers or ranges of numbers of a cell, you simply add comma to shift to the next item in the argument. So once I add my comma, automatically it now moves to the next argument, telling us to add the number for 2. So the number for 2 will be B4. B4. Automatically Excel still picks it up. I guess by now you should understand what I'm doing. The next argument we'll pick after adding our comma should be B5. Okay, B5. The next argument B6. The next argument B7. The next argument B8. The next argument, the final but not the least, B9. So we can keep on adding arguments upon argument based on how the data is, or based on the largeness of the data. So, but for us, on this one we are using for this practical purpose, this is where it ends. So to end up an argument, you simply close bracket. So once you close your bracket, automatically Excel now understand that you're done with your argument. So once you're done, the next thing you do is just to hit your enter key on your keyboard. So once you hit your enter key, automatically Excel gives you the total value of that particular sales in that particular month. So total value we have for January that we have sold from each of the product is 395. Okay, now let's head over to the next month, which is February, and see how we can also achieve to get the summation or the total value that was sold for that particular month, February. We head over here. Like I said, I'm going to show you the different ways to sum up values in Excel. Then you can choose the best one that is easily accessible by you. So we have used the first one, which is the manual method. I target the manual method because you do it one after the other. Now the next method I want to show us is using the semi-manual method. Here we add our equal sign like we did previously when we are calculating for January. You add your sum. So after adding your sum, you also open up an argument by opening up your bracket. Now Excel understand that you want to create an argument, but what the difference is that instead of picking up the values one by one, we simply use the range of values for Excel. Now what do we mean by that? Our argument here will be C3. Now we now type C3. Instead of using a comma to achieve this, what we do is to add a column. Now once we add this column, we want to tell Excel to pick a range of value from the first value that we have picked to the last argument that we want to end. So the last value here that we want to pick, or the last argument that we want to pick here, is C9. So once I type C9, Excel will automatically pick the value from that first argument that we chose, which is C3, to the last argument that we chose, which is the C9. I think that is more easier than the previous one we did. So automatically, once we are done with this, we close our bracket. Once we close our bracket, we told Excel that we are done with our argument. They will now hit to enter, and automatically our answer will be given to us. So for the month of February, the total sales we made is 452. Let's head over to the next month, which is March, and see the total sales we made for that month, March. Like I said, I am going to be showing you the different methods to sum values, totals in Excel, that we can choose the best one that best suits us. The next argument I want to show us to calculate functions is how to use the auto function. Okay, the auto function allows us to make calculations automatically from Excel without applying the formulas manually. To get to the auto sum, we simply go to our formula tab. Under our formula ribbon, we see the auto sum here. So what this auto sum means is it automatically calculates the sum of a range of value. Now if you look down on the preview, Excel automatically gives us a preview of how it will calculate the sum for us. From what you can see, it has given us a value equals sum bracket open J2 down to J5. So let's apply this auto sum to get our total for the month of March. But before you apply it, the first rule you should do is to highlight the data that you want to calculate for that particular month, including the space that you want your answer or your total number of answers that you are calculating for to apply or to be applied to. So this is the number we want to calculate for the month of March. Now also include an empty cell that the auto sum will leave the total value that it has calculated for us. So don't forget this, you must leave an empty cell that it will calculate the total sum for us. That is how to calculate the value using the AutoSum. Let's head over to AutoSum and see how this is achieved. So once you click on your AutoSum, it automatically gives you the total value, which is 419. Easy, right? Now let's apply the next type of summing in a cell in the month of April. So this is our month of April. This is the total cell we made. So the next sum we want to apply, I call it one of the easiest because you just draw down, highlight down the values you want to calculate, and you can see Excel gives us this extra box here. I explained what this box means here is the quick analysis. I talked about it in the previous module. So once you click on it, automatically it gives you extra data sheets that you can work with. These data sheets are also called tabs because you can also find them in some of the tabs under some of the ribbons here. We have the formatting, we have the charts, we have the totals, we have the tables, and the sparklines. So we are going to work with totals because we want to calculate the total sales that you've gotten for a particular month, which is April. So click on total and we'll see the sum here. So once you click on sum, automatically it's giving us a preview of what we've gotten. Once you click on your OK, the total number that we've gotten will be here. So as you can see, we got the same total sale for March and for April. So these are some of the basic way to calculate your summation or to achieve summation in Excel. So you can choose the one that is best suited for you and you calculate. So note to understand each of the rules on each of them. Let's head over to our next sheet and see how you can calculate the test scores for a particular subject for each student. So we have 8 students here. 8 students here. We want to calculate their total score for test 1, test 2, and their final exams. I want to also bring to your notice, for here, we calculated totals for the horizontal. Now I want to calculate totals for vertical, which is for the column, horizontal, which is for the row. Okay, to calculate the totals for each of the scores, you simply apply the function that you want to apply. So once you click on this, you can automatically apply your AutoSum and it will give us the total values. Okay, now I want to show us something. Now you have gotten the first value under the first row for each sheet. Now what you do, instead of coming back to calculate the total value for this again, you simply hold down this, click on this cell. Now you see this box like object down this cell here. So once you hover your mouse close to it, you see your mouse changes to this cross like sign. What you do is to hold down your mouse key and drag it down. So once you drag down, automatically Excel calculates the total for other particular values in a row. This applies also for columns. So once you click on each of them, you will see the calculation that Excel has done, and once you click on it, it will tell you what it has done. It picked from C3 to E3 to do these calculations for us. Same thing applies for this, same thing applies for Billy, same thing applies for Steve, Kenny, Eric, and Ponke. We can also calculate the totals of all the totals. What do I mean? You can simply drag this down by using the AutoSum, manual method, semi-manual method, or also by using our easiest method, which I think the quick analysis. So once you click on it, automatically you go to your totals, click on your sum, and you get the total for these totals. Okay, so I think we've done justice to summing and how to apply sum function in Excel. Practice this, get comfortable with it. If you have any questions, you can ask on the comment section and I will be glad to respond swiftly. So with that, let's head over to the next module and see how to achieve other types of functions.